guys, this is BerserkChip and welcome to part 2 of the Gundam Zero Custom Basic Guide for Gundam Battle Assault 2. If you haven't seen part 1, please do so because I go over all of his basic moves, his normals and his specials and his super, and some of the more blocking properties that he has in some of the special moves. So if you haven't seen that, please do so. I'm going to put a link in the description to make it easier for you to find. Part 2, we're going to go over how to use Wing Zero effectively, and no, it's not just use Buster Rifle all the time. This game kind of gets a bad rep, and half of the reason is Buster Rifle, which is a special move that Wing Zero has. Buster Rifle is a twin projectile that has pretty good tracking. Not a lot of pre and post lag, but it does have it. And it's a beam special, and beam specials are always fantastic in fighting games. So what a lot of people would do is spam Buster Rifle, Buster Rifle, Buster Rifle, and just keep your opponent away as quickly as much as possible, and you would just win that way. But that's not the be-all end-all strategy for Wing Zero, and any decent fighting game player will see right through that and just destroy you. Especially if that's all you have. So I'm going to teach you, I'm going to try and explain like why Wing Zero is more than just Buster Rifle, Buster Rifle. He has a lot of great normals, especially for what seems like a long-range character, because he has like quite a lot of variety in his projectiles. He's not just Buster Rifle, he has the shotgun, which I've shown you. The shotgun not only can block projectiles, I didn't really go over this in part 1 well enough as I should, but not only can it block some projectiles like bullets, missiles, and whatnot, but it can also keep away your opponent who's trying to dash at you. So let's say you're doing the Buster Rifle strategy where you just spam Buster Rifle or spam Hadouken or whatever, and your opponent decides to dash at you, you can mix in a shotgun, and not only is it like a projectile, but it spreads across the entire screen as it is a shotgun. It can be done in the air or ground, and when your opponent is hit, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it pushes them pretty far back, and then you can do more projectiles if you want. And if they get close enough, there's always the chance that they'll get hit by the hitbox, the attack hitbox that the shotgun starts out as when it's charging. That same hitbox that blocks projectiles is also an attack. So it's a very good special. One of his normals is also a projectile. It hits high, low, or in the air. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's very slow, so you can use it to either zone or keep your opponent guessing, to mix between machine guns, which also you have, by the way. Not quite as good as most characters, it's pretty blasé, but it's another good projectile. It's got good tracking. And yeah, the beam projectile, the regular one, it's pretty slow moving, and you can use that to either mix with all of your other projectiles, or you can use it to dash in after you do it. And speaking of dashing in, Wing Zero has a lot of great attacking normals. He's got the bird tackle, which has armored barrier, so if somebody tries to do a special at you, you can just dash right through it. And his normals are great. He's got a really good jab, a really good ducking low kick, and he's got a really great dash trip, which does knockdown. So he's got a lot of great variety. That's probably the best way to describe Wing Zero in this game. He's very versatile. You can really play him however you want, so he's pretty good. He's probably the best character for somebody starting out with this game and wanting to play at a more intermediate level, because he has, the great projectile game, and this game does have a lot of projectiles, and there is projectile metagame. And there's also the close range stuff, and I did show you at least 1 or 2 combos in part 1 that are pretty easy to do. And I showed you that Buster Rifle also works as a good OTG after tripping somebody. His unblockable is okay. I don't really find myself using it very much. It's fast, but it doesn't really do a lot of damage, and you can't really do anything before or after it. So it's kind of just something that you would use like any other reason you'd use an unblockable if somebody's just blocking too much. And that's basically it. For Wing Zero, just like strategy in general, I would say the best strategy is to just mix up your game. Because he has this versatileness to him, you can either just do stuff long range or getting close, and I would say do both. Like, you could start out doing projectiles like Buster Rifle, Shotgun, his normal Buster Shot, or his machine guns, and then when your opponent is getting a little too comfortable blocking that or trying to get in close, you get in close yourself with Bird Tackle or Bird Uppercut, and or somebody tries to get in close, you answer with Bird Uppercut, obviously, and you can do some of his ground combos or even his air combos that I showed you. If someone is blocking too much, you can use Bird Tackle or his aerial overhead as an approach. Always works well with most Gundams. And that's really about all there is to it with Wing Gundam. He's just a really great character, and there's a lot more to him than just his Buster Rifle, which hopefully I've shown you. So this is BerserkChip signing out. Next, I'm going to do Heavy Arms, so please stay tuned for that.